of shape does this graph take right here?
A
Parabola.
Line.
Line. Boom. Why'd you steal my answer there?
Okay, what kind of shape does this
Wait, I thought it
graph?
was a pearl.
U.
Parabola?
Yeah,
Next
sure.
one
No,
is
that's
the-
a snake. The up down.
This.
That one's the snake, right?
Okay, sure. It's a cubic function, has an extra curve on it, like that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
How can you tell that
negative,
again?
it's
I
split.
forgot how to tell that.
Okay, the difference are the degrees of the polynomial, so 1, 2, 3.
What happens if it's
The fourth has
It's just gonna keep going.
This has 3 humps.
Okay, yeah, so it has an extra bend in it. Whoops. Started that one the wrong direction.
Gosh dang it.
And so on has
What if you have so
more
many
curves.
So,
events just
let's-
because like straight
Whoa. That's
Just do a couple.
And if like the bends aren't that deep, like it just wiggles like this.
Okay,
The bend.
all these other things out here don't really matter as far as the basic shape goes. Really, you just need this exponent to tell you. So a fifth power looks kind of like a third power, but it's got one more curve, so like that. And then a sixth power is kind of like a fourth, and the second power, it's got another curve. So second power starts up, ends up. Fourth power starts up, ends up. Sixth power starts up,
ends up.
ends up.
Yes.
Evens up,
I'm gonna change.
So yeah, odd powers go from down to up, down to up, down to up. Okay, what if the first term is negative though?
Then you flip it.
Okay, yeah, if this was a -2, like a -2 slope, right? You would be going up to down. This one would be upside down, upside down, upside down. Wait, do I do that right? Yeah. Alright, if first term is negative, just flips everything upside down, right? I think, you know, we basically did this chapter last year. And it would keep going forever. Hopefully you can see a pattern. It goes from no bends to 1 bend, 2 bends, 3 bends, 4 bends, 5 bends.
Whatever number it is, subtract 1. That's how many bends.
Degree of the polynomial minus 1, yeah. The corners.
Degree of polynomial minus.
Why does this make so much more sense to me this year than last year? I didn't understand that.
You were a
much.
genius last year, this year.
I know.
Oh wait, let me rephrase myself.
Okay, we're on page 66, and I think I wrote down 1 through 18. Yeah, I think I did. 1 through 18 on page 66. And it's a graphing assignment.
I am so excited.
Graphing is like.
It's like drawing, but like.
Graphing is like just like being on the beach and just like just like chilling and like everything.
Drew, please stop this.
Drew being the worst person in the world.
Drew, I'm gonna cash in my insult here. Every time you do that face, I want to shoot myself. Thank you, that's all.
Hey, Brad.
He starts questioning the point of living.
You got some.
No, I gave him gum, and his payment was I get to insult him once. I still have one for Matthew.
Don't do it.
So Matthew's just ticking me off something.
You got so much to live for, Zach.
Huh?
You got so
Do
much
we
to
even
live
need normal paper?
No, you probably don't.
18 graph problems.
Okay, number 1. So,
Your mama.
the method The method that we're gonna use to graph these is by finding the zeros of the function. You guys remember what that meant?
The x-intercepts is.
It's like the x-intercepts, it's what x values make the function equal to 0. It is, and yes, that is where it crosses the x-axis. So at number 1, what x values would make that function equal to 0?
Negative 1, 2, 4.
Negative 1, 2, and 4. So on our graph, I can pull my graph back up. I'm going to put a dot at negative 1, 2, and 4. By the way, what kind of shape is this graph going to make? What kind of?
Parabola.
3 left.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
a cubic function.
Yeah. So this is called a linear function or a linear equation. This is called a quadratic, because these are the kinds we can solve with quadratic formula, right? But the squared makes it quadratic. This is called a cubic, like x cubed, and this is called a quartic. And if they named any of these, I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard of those named.
Isn't that called Physics function?
No.
With it being a negative, does it have a different
So,
word, or is it-
if you have 3 x's multiplied together on number 1, that's a cubic function. So this is going to be our shape down to that. And the first x, well, all the x terms are positive, so it's a positive. It's not going to be this one. It's going to be this one. Let's also find the y-intercept, though. How would I find the y-intercept?
Make it all equal to 0, right?
No, that's how we found the x-intercepts.
So
Put y at 0.
They just like the coordinates.
So maybe it's right here. What do we know? I don't. Maybe it's here or here. Or
So
here.
x equals 0.
Yeah. If you put in 0 for x, that gives you the y-intercept because it might be 0, 1, 0, 3, 0 something. So you just make the x value 0 and then see what comes out.
For which one?
All of them.
So
one,
I got 8.
2.
Yeah, 0.
Yeah. Basically, if you make all those 0, it'd be 1 times -2 times -4. So it is 8, which is a little bit off my graph here.
Same, brother.
Can we do that part like times 2?
Yeah,
just that
I
part?
didn't make
Or
it.
then
I
we
know,
can
but
do
you didn't make the graph big enough.
Just make it by 2.
But then wait, what? How
Yeah,
high?
if we make it by
graph is
2s,
at
do
the
we have
top
to
of my
change everything
page.
by 2 or just that one thing?
Hey, members.
How high do you have to go up?
Hey, what are you supposed to do if your graph doesn't fit?
I went too high.
Cry.
Just ball your eyes.
Why?
Well, I'm just gonna go up by 2s, to the right and left by not 2s.
Nice.
Can you do that? No.
No, that's not
No.
allowed.
Yeah, you can.
Wait, that's impossible.
It is very much possible.
We've been tricked, we've been backstabbed, we've been constantly
The
been
shape will be wrong, but technically it might be right.
Let me see if the book puts the answers in here. They don't. It's gonna be a pain to grade.
Sorry about it.
You should cut the inside.
The book doesn't have any answers. Okay. Numero.
We should just not do it.
Yeah. Okay. We're not gonna do the y-intercept anymore because I just looked at number 3 and it's at 15. So.
Oh my
Great
gosh.
idea.
I think this is fantastic.
I love
So
Well-
we are just
We'll just do the x-intercepts.
Are we just sketching?
all
Or are we supposed to have work?
There's not really any work to do on 1 through 12. On 13 through 18, there's some work to do.
Okay.
Okay, number 3. What are the intercepts?
-0.
Isn't it 1?
-5
1,
and
-5,
-3.
Okay, there's no such thing as -0.
Wait, isn't it 1?
Yeah,
Just
who
zero.
said?
Isn't it 1, -5, -4?
Okay, it's
So
-0.
it's 0, -5, and -3.
Isn't it just 0 for the y-intercept?
Aren't you just 0 for the y-intercept?
Yes, I am.
Okay, if I multiplied all those together, the -x times the x times the x, like if I did a gigantic FOIL and then distributed, what would my first term become? What's negative x times x times x?
Net.
Thank you for it.
Negative x cubed, right? If I multiplied it together, like you don't have to, but it would be a big FOIL problem, distributed problem. You'd get an x cubed if you multiplied all those x's together. But one of the x's was negative, so it would be a negative x cubed.
So it's going down.
So this is our picture. So normally odd powers go up from left to right, but if it's negative, it's going to go down from left to
Doesn't
right.
matter where you start at.
So
I'm just
Okay,
curious,
yeah.
how would you find your y, like the y-intercept?
I'm not understanding is how the negative 0.
actually, wait.
From the.
Oh yeah. I was thinking this one would be zero. We already know what the y-intercept is on this one because it's right there.
Okay.
But normally you plug in 0 for x
Um,
and then work it out.
I think I have.
The y-intercept's always at 0 something.
okay.
Bro,
Rerun.
I went home and I hope my mom had made some curry from last night, and she did not.
Did you throw a big fit?
Yeah, but she wasn't home, so like, what was the point of throwing a fit?
That's
I heard
not
David got
very
in
much.
trouble
For what?
for getting a bad grade on his Bible test.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I got 100.
number 5 has a trick we have not seen yet. What are my roots though? What's the zeros of the function?
0 and negative.
0, negative 2. Okay. What kind of function is it? Is it quadratic, cubic, quartic? What kind of function is it?
Quadratic.
Cubic. Because if you did x squared times x, it would be x cubed, right?
Of course it would.
Okay. It's a cubic function. So this is the shape it's going to take. Now, why does it only have 2 roots?
Because it crosses.
Oh, wait, is it because it's squared?
Yes.
So then-
When it says x squared, that x squared gave us 0 as one of our roots, but when it's squared, that's called a double root. And what happens at the double root, in this case the double root
It
is 0,
bounces.
it bounces. So instead of going through at 0 like it would normally, it's going to bounce it like it's going to be tangent to the line and then bounce up and go back the other way. So it's only touching twice.
Wow, it's like a trampoline.
Is that kind of what happens on the 6? It's like cute.
Cubic root's a little different. We'll do one of those number 9.
I didn't think graph.
Number 9.
Not really.
What?
Wait, is it from Zelda?
All right,
Wait.
Not even close.
guys. How many roots does a cubic function have to have at least?
Smash Brothers.
3.
No.
It's
Three.
This one only had 2.
the 1.
Okay, 1. It could look like this. Okay, but since it's going from low to high, it has it at least once somewhere.
What if it's going sideways?
Okay, if it's a quartic function like x to the 4th or a quadratic function, it could be floating up here, and it could have 0 roots.
Wow.
Or isn't it like
0 real roots, huh?
Oh yeah, like the roots are imaginary or something.
It would have imaginary roots, yeah. It would still have 4 roots, but they would be imaginary roots. So, but anyway.
But does that count as imaginary?
It doesn't count on the graph, like it wouldn't touch. No, I'm gonna say no for our purposes. Number 7, what are the roots for number 7? 0, 1, negative 1, negative 2.
Where'd you get the 0?
When there's an x out in front, if you make that a 0, that turns everything into a 0.
Are you making that up?
Yeah.
But how do we know?
How will we
Let's
prove
go
it?
back to proofs again.
Yeah. No. No. No.
You didn't absolutely love proof.
No.
Okay. Did I spell quartic wrong?
Yes, you did.
I was gonna try.
Q-A-R-T-I-C. Wait, where? Over there?
No, I spelled it right. Quartic. kind of function is this?
It's a quartic function.
Yeah, it's a quartic function. If you multiply 4 x's together, you get x to the 4th, right?
And
Yeah.
it's not a negative one,
Quartic
so it's
function.
just
Is it gonna be negative?
no.
No.
Well,
Yes.
one of those x's is negative. You guys see that?
Yeah.
So it is gonna be
No.
negative.
So the whole thing is negative just because one of them is
No,
negative?
but there's
Yeah, when you
two
multiply one negative, it makes it negative. If you multiply 2 negatives, it makes it positive.
So it's positive.
That's why.
There's only one negative. I'm on number
There's
7.
two negatives.
You wrote negative
Yeah,
2.
you put negative 2 and negative 1.
No. I'm looking at the number 7, not the answers.
Oh, there's negative x.
Right, there's a positive x times a negative x times a positive x times a
So
positive
it's
x.
down, down.
So, it's a quartic function, yes. But it's a negative quartic function, so it's gonna be this shape.
Oh gosh. Why?
That's a funky shape.
Thanks, Brady.
So it's something like that.
It's like an N.
Mine moves kind of hurt.
Your what?
Mine moves.
And why is it a negative one? What is that?
Move so big.
Because if we multiply this out, x times negative x times x times x, that would give us a negative x.
That's
like.
If we multiplied all those
Yeah.
x's together,
I didn't know that was.
one of the x's was negative.
I was kind of
So just because one of the x's are negative makes the whole thing
I
negative?
was disturbed.
Yeah, because when you multiply one negative, it makes it negative. 2 negatives makes it positive.
Philosophy.
3 negatives makes it negative.
Um,
Okay,
Imagine being high.
number 9. Okay, what are my 2 roots for number 9?
Hold on, let me find it crap. It's negative 1
What?
and 2.
Negative 1 and 2. Okay, negative 1, notice that x plus 1 is cubed. Okay, that's called a cubic root. That's going to do something different. You guys might have forgotten from last year. But what kind of function is this? X cubed times x, right? Which makes it x cubed times x would make x to the
Oh,
4th.
quadric.
So it's a quartic function.
Oh, does that mean it,
What?
So this is our
balances
shape.
both of them? Because there's only 2 roots, right?
Okay. There's only 2 roots.
So
One
that
of them
means-
is called a cubic root. If I, let's see, if I multiply this out, like FOIL this times itself and whatever that answer times x plus 1 and then whatever that answer times x, all those x's would eventually get multiplied together and I would eventually have an x to the 4th plus something blah 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 x to the 3rd. Anyway, so it's a quartic function. It only has 2 roots because one of the roots is called, this is a cubic root. Okay, so remember a double root, it bounced at the line on this one. 0 was a double root because it was x squared.
Yeah.
On this one, it's not going to bounce. It's going to take a sharp turn like it's going to bounce, but then it's going to keep on going. So,
Yes.
does this ring a bell? Should be somewhere in the back of your guys' brains.
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of chucked all of this out.
Yeah.
So, negative 1 and 2.
Oh,
Which
it's
one was
like
cubic?
where it, like,
So,
balances out and then we-
Negative 1 is where the cubic root is. It's going to turn sharp and then keep on rolling. Ooh.
What?
What?
It's going to turn like it's going to get flat, but instead of keep going down, it's going to go on through. Can't see that point.
It's like a super small one.
Yeah, it's like a
It
very,
looks like an igloo.
it's a very weird M shape, basically, kind of.
This is whack.
Wait, is that the character
What?
from Among Us?
Oh, wait. Oh, I screwed up. Does anybody know what I did wrong?
No, I have absolutely no idea
Down,
whatsoever.
down.
Yeah, it's supposed to be up, up. Guys. Okay, I was supposed to go up, up.
That's what I thought.
I was thinking the same thing. I thought it was supposed to have like a bunch of humps or something.
two ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah, that's what you do on 6.
Why do people keep changing math?
What do you mean changing?
Like, my sister's homework, they
Oh.
did math, completely different than how we usually do.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it new math?
It's
No,
new math, but like,
It's old stuff.
it's not fun math.
It's
You talking about
Is any
Shannon?
math fun?
Yeah.
I thought you guys used that book.
What?
You guys use the same book?
What
We
book?
did?
Yeah.
Well, she was trying to explain to me how she did it, and I didn't understand.
Maybe she's just doing it wrong.
Maybe I'm just dumb.
I was about to say, long story short, Josh is an idiot.
Okay, number 11. What are my roots?
I would go with,
That's funny how
there's
much
one
it's
negative,
like
2, 1, and Matthew.
hilarious.
Matthew's my one.
Okay, but 0 is a double root on this one.
So this is a
If I multiply all these x's together, what would my degree be?
What?
Can you keep it down?
I don't know, your degree's probably.
It's a 5th degree.
Okay, yeah, there's 5 x's. If we multiply them all together, it'd be next to the 5th.
So it's a quartic.
So all the x's are positive, so it's positive. So it's going down to up eventually.
Quartic.
And 0 is a double root. So I'm going to put a dot at -1, or -2, -1, 0, 1.
Oh, so it bounces off at the 0.
It's going to balance at 0.
All my lands.
I'm gonna change that.
With that translation.
Oh, because
It's
0 is
just
negative.
like
It's
half
double.
Zero was a double root.
Why did it not?
How did you figure that out?
0 is a double root, so it doesn't just say x, it says x squared. So, you know how there's an x out there that has 0 but since it's squared, it's like,
My sister
it's
knows the
one
answer.
that happens twice.
I'm not
But
surprised.
on the graph,
See, my sister has the obsession with graphs, but she doesn't like that sign. She just likes it.
this one's a
Did you
cubic
press the right part?
Yeah.
negative 1.
Interesting.
It looks like it's
Great,
gonna bounce,
great,
but then
great
it's
wrap.
going down.
Hey, I hate this big. Can you mess over my like
Alright,
this?
number 13, we gotta do a little work on 13.
I'm
You guys are getting bored by how easy this was. So.
Oh, no.
That's not.
Okay.
I still don't understand, but that's okay.
Wait, understand what?
Anyway,
Anything.
I think I got it.
Can I take a
These
picture of
things
this right
Say the whole thing again.
Yeah, I need to get
Thank the Lord, that's how I'm getting homework done, because I wouldn't be able to remember all that.
I'm sure.
Are we
How do
done?
you, how, okay, how can
Please
you
say
figure
we're
out
done.
how weird this
No,
shit's
we're
gonna
okay.
look?
Can we work on the
Today, politely
It's just a
asking
two-day?
you to stuff your head for just a
We're
second.
not even gonna finish the yellow guys. Gotta get a picture of Mr. George.
Oh,
No,
no,
it's
flash
too
you
far
want
away.
to redo that.
I didn't get a picture of
I
it.
don't.
Okay, there we go.
I don't. I just
Let me
don't.
make sure it's a good picture. I can actually read that.
Yo, that's all
I
it's
don't
on.
understand how to do
There's an
that.
entire cover, you know, this part.
That's not.
10,
Look at
you
mine.
basically have,
Pause.
2 roots.
What?
But it's
I have
double.
spoken.
yeah.
What?
So, yeah, number 10 is kind of tricky. So,
Are you gonna take it out?
shh, on 10, how many x's do we have? 4. Okay, so it's a quartic, so it's this or this. Is that x,
It's
is that first term?
it's negative twice though.
Okay,
Positive.
the first negative on the front of number 10 is it being squared.
No.
No. So that's one negative. The second negative in the parentheses, negative x, is it being squared.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's positive.
So there are 3 negatives in that problem. So when you multiply the x's together, you'll have a negative. So it's going down, not up.
Okay.
So just touch twice.
Like,
If we were foiling 2 minus x, we would basically have minus x times minus x, right? That's like 2 negatives. If we multiplied that's the x squared on the outside, that negative is not squared on the outside, it's only one negative. So altogether, there's 3 negatives multiplied together. I'm just looking at the x's. I don't care what all this other junk is, I'm just looking at the x's. Like, what will the first big term be? Well, it's gonna be one of these. It's x to the 4th, but it's negative, so you start down and end down. They are both double roots on number 10. You got 2 double roots. So it's gonna go up, like the x-axis will be right here. It's gonna go up, bounce, go up, bounce. Okay, number 13, we gotta do it ourselves, so we gotta factor, I guess. X cubed minus 4x squared. So all these other all these other problems, they factored it for us, right? So how can we factor number 13?
You can take out an x.
Take out an x.
And then it's a square minus a square.
And we got x squared minus 4.
So it's x plus 2x minus 2.
Yeah, square minus a square, x plus 2x minus 2. Boom.
So 0, negative 2, 2.
That's what I was gonna say.
Same, brother.
Good job,
What is
Brady.
this?
Way to go.
Do we have to sketch this one too?
Okay, this obviously is a cubic function, right? Yeah, we're still drawing. The positive cubic function, just like this one, so it's going down to up. So -2, 0, 2, down, up.
Amazing. Do you guys know that TikTok thing?
What?
It's like the one with like amazing brothers and something. Isn't it? Am I the only one that gets this?
Yes.
Donut ever get up? Yeah, do not. Or donut, when you made that Mr. Steve's class, that was so good, do not.
No one. Wait.
No.
Whatever happened to all your posters, Mr. Jordan?
I left them in the middle
I
school.
have to do
Are
not.
they still down there?
Or as long as you have the girls.
No, I'm pretty sure she moved them up to the.
Yes, but are they still there? Because I want them.
No, she moved them to her room that she's got now.
Where are the posters? When will they be placed on the walls?
True.
That is all I can figure out.
I'm pretty sure it's in middle school master plan.
Take your posters.
Take a 2 out.
Take what out?
Take a 2.
A toe.
X squared.
X squared out.
That's what I said.
I said that first.
What's left?
That's what you said. X squared
No.
minus 1.
X squared
Minus one.
minus
That's what I said.
When you're taking
That's what I was.
something out, you're dividing it out.
It's a thing for.
Plus 1,
X.
minus 1.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, this is square minus square. You take the roots, square roots, x and 1.
Just chicken nuggets.
0
0.
is a double root. We also have -1 and +1. What kind of function is it?
Hold on.
Quartic. Is it positive?
Forty.
First term positive? Jackson. Yes, so it's a W. But with a bounce at 0, with a bounce at 0. Wait, was it 1 and -1?
Yes.
1, 0, negative 1.
Bounce at 0. Little sloppy Joe. Should be some kind of, there's kind of some symmetry on these.
Kind of is not good.
Like this hill should be perfectly centered around these 2 points. That kind of
That's a
thing.
W.
Yeah.
We're taking a dub.
Okay, 17, we're gonna have to use the trick we learned on Friday.
I refuse. Sorry.
Did you remember Friday's trick?
No.
Oh, I
Okay.
totally remember it.
I didn't even remember Friday.
If they're telling us 1 is a triple root, if 1 is a answer, that means x minus 1 is a factor, And we should be able to divide by x minus
And
1.
then we can find the other one.
Right. You guys remember that was like the last 4 problems from Friday? If 1 is an answer, I know that x minus 1 must be one of the factors, right?
Oh, so you can.
So I can divide by x minus 1.
To get-
Actually, they said 1 is a triple root.
So that means
So
you
I can divide 3 times by x minus 1, and that whatever's left over should be my last root, like x minus 5 or whatever it is. It will give me my last answer. So how do I divide by x minus 1?
Taking x out.
Synthetic division, what goes in the box?
1.
1 was my root, and 1 goes in the box. X minus 1 is my factor. Xander, I did record, like I do every day on Friday, but you'd have to get on RenWeb, and I think I put it on YouTube, but not RenWeb actually. So I might, hopefully I'll remember to put it on YouTube. or
It'd be
on
funny if
RenWeb.
you went viral on YouTube or something.
Yeah, got you.
Did you quit this job?
Okay, so our coefficients are 1, -2, what?
0.
0, 2, -1. It's missing an x squared term.
Wait, where'd we get 1 in the box? From the 1.
1, they said, is an answer. They said it's a triple root.
Oh.
That means x minus 1 is a factor. That means we need to put 1 in the box.
Right.
And I'm going to add down, multiply. Luckily, they gave us the easiest thing to multiply by. Now, if we do this right, it should come out as 0 every time because these are supposed to be factors.
But you have to do it again.
You got to do it twice more because 1 is a triple root. No crying in my class. Add down.
Literally.
That was horrible. Can we do it one more time?
All my lines that
Why
I've
did
solved
we do
it,
it
it's all
twice?
ones.
It said 1 is a triple root, which
Yeah.
means I can divide by x minus 1 3
No.
times. It should work.
I got another one.
Yeah.
No, this is x plus
This is-
3.
This is the 3rd time, yeah.
Wait, where are we doing
It is.
We're trying to find the last.
The answer is 1.
Okay, so we divide by, basically, all these numbers mean we divide by x minus 1 3 times.
Oh.
What does this represent right here?
11.
X plus.
X plus 1. So this is like the missing factor that we didn't know. If x plus 1 is our missing factor, then what's our missing root? Negative 1.
So this whole.
Where?
So we have a triple root at 1 and a normal root at -1.
What does a triple root mean?
Triple root means it
Oh, the squiggly.
turns sharp and then it starts going again. So it's a quartic because there's 4 x's and it's positive, right? Yeah, positive 4. So it's going to be a w, but it's going to be a funky w because we have a triple root.
You know, like a real something, or like a.
That's right.
Triple root at 1 and a normal root at, so normal,
It's beautiful.
triple, that, I don't like that. I can do better.
It's like
Yeah, you
playing
can.
it in my head now.
What happens if you have a quintuple root?
It'd be a really flat double root.
Oh.
Wait, quintuple would be 5, so actually it'd be a really flat triple
I
root.
didn't get any of that.
Don't have to be afraid. That's just physics. It's a little rough physics.
So it's like a really funky W.
Okay, how?
Hey, don't move it.
A triple root turns sharp and then keeps on going. Yeah.
You sound like a Halloween ghost dream.
Six.
Like something from Halloween.
Yeah.
It's
Halloween?
It's like,
They say
yeah,
it's Halloween.
yeah, quadruple.
Spooky
And I got
season.
zero one.
Spooky, scary, skeleton.
Fun fact, that movie is
So,
only allowed to
don't
be watched on
watch it.
Thanksgiving.
Huh?
That movie is only allowed to be watched on Thanksgiving because too many people argue, is it a Christmas movie? Is it a Halloween movie? No, Thanksgiving.
Twice?
Well, it's gonna bounce it both
Right in
ways.
between. But you were wrong.
Austin.
You're a little bird.
And I don't
There.
Is this one of the
Oh,
ones
oh,
that
yeah.
you use?
If you give me a God, I'll freak out. How did you think?
I was back on six.
Because I was about
That's
one.
my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look a little bit.
So,
Hey.
It's an egg.
We were ready to get a guitar to get my reference.
actually, it's a pot, right? Is that?
It was the when they're eating.
Hard name.
I get zero.
What we were listening to. It's like,
And, it's gonna bounce at 0 to 1.
Nice.
This is a,
I know, I
there's
wanted
5
to be,
X's.
but there's no really?
So,
And that didn't like her name last year. We don't have Alex, completely laugh at it the whole time. Go for it.
Is that one,
Okay.
I'm worried about
I
line.
am sitting on the ground.
Well, me on accident. I threw it
Because
out
I
there.
do this work and we're like, yeah, photos every day. Like,
guys probably should take advantage this time.
Can you, how are you on six?